Hello, hello, my friends. Boy, oh boy, do I have a haul to share with you guys today. This is going to be part one of my Kringle Candle Black Friday Cyber Monday haul. Now, yes, the reason why I'm saying part one, well, I ended up placing two more orders. However, those have not yet arrived on my doorstep, and I figured, you know what, let's just go ahead and split it up anyways, because this first order was quite big. I actually ended up purchasing 14 candles in my first order. But guess what, you guys? I spent a grand total. I want to say my order totaled somewhere around $145 for 14 candles. So gotta hand it to Kringle. I think they won when it came to the best bang for your buck during all of the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. So I'm excited to share with you guys what I purchased. Now, unfortunately, some of these candles are now sold out. Some of them are gone forever. However, there are some that are just temporarily sold out, and I will let you guys know which ones those are. As you guys know, I am a Kringle affiliate. However, none of these were sent to me. I spent my own money. I purchased these just like all of you guys. And here's the other thing. I am having to await shipping just like a lot of you are as well. There was no priority in the shipping. Like I said, I am still waiting on the other two orders. They have shipped, but it doesn't look like they will get to me until a couple of days from now. So that's why I've decided to split this haul into two separate videos. I will make sure once those candles arrive to share with you guys what is in part two. There's a couple of extra large candles in that order, so it should be a little bit fun. But that one will be a smaller haul. Anyways, lots of words to share with you guys, lots of candles to share with you guys, and I'm excited to do so. As you can tell, I've got a little bit more pep in my step today. I was editing that empties video, and I was like, wow, Katie, you sounded really terrible. Still battling this little head cold that I've gotten. Truthfully, it's quite minor. But yeah, we're just going to battle through. Hopefully, I won't get any coughing fits. And yeah, I'm excited to share with you guys what I ended up purchasing. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. Like I said, we'll have everything linked in the description box down below with timestamps. And I'll let you guys know here as I'm filming as well if any of these are still available. So let's go ahead and start out with, I ended up purchasing 7 country candle jars because, you guys, these large 2 wicks were on sale, I think, for $7.75. These were 75% off. Normally, these do retail for $31. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with some kind of like Christmas type of candles. Now, unfortunately, these ones that I am about to show you guys are sold out. In fact, there are only 2 of these country candles that are still left in stock. But hopefully you guys got your hands on these as well if you were interested in them. Okay, the first candle that I purchased is actually completely new to me. I've never had this candle before, but this is one of the fragrances that did make the transition from country over to the large Kringle formats. And this is the fragrance Candy Cane Lane. So we have fragrance notes here of peppermint, cocoa, vanilla, peppermint, sweet sugar crystal. So my husband, not really a big fan of peppermint. And truthfully, you guys, I will burn peppermint around Christmas time, but I actually really enjoy peppermint fragrances right after the holidays, kind of in the January months. And what is this fragrance to me? You guys, this is a really nice, like peppermint vanilla type of scent. Is it reinventing the wheel? No. But is this the type of peppermint fragrance that I do enjoy? Yes, I do. In fact, I'm really loving burning this one with another candle that I'm going to show you guys next. That one is a repeat purchase, but this is a first one. Now, for me, you guys, this one, it's kind of in that vein of like Bath and Body Works Twisted Peppermint. Yankee Candle has a new one out. I think it's called like North Pole Frost. I bought it in the 3-wick. But this one is slightly different in that there is a little bit more of kind of like an underlying, almost like white chocolate note. This fragrance is more pepperminty, I should say, than their new, what is it, Snow Walk candle? Is it Snow Walk? Yeah, Snow Walk. Yeah, really, really enjoyable fragrance. But again, it's nothing super new, but I do like this scent quite a bit. This is one that I figure, you know what, it'll be around for a while for me. Blends really nicely with a lot of other fragrances. So glad I got my hands on this one. The next fragrance that I purchased is a repeat purchase for me. I think this is now maybe the third, possibly the fourth time I have purchased this fragrance. This is Peppermint and Cocoa. Fragrance notes on Peppermint and Cocoa are crushed peppermint, chocolate morsels, praline cream, vanilla bean, minted woods, whipped cream, and musk. And here's the thing with this candle, you guys. This smells so authentic to the Starbucks drink. This smells like a good peppermint hot chocolate. It's not that fake powdered hot chocolate. This is beautifully balanced, you guys. I love that there's a little bit of like creaminess going on with this. This pairs beautifully with that Candy Cane Lane, or like I said, if you're in your collection, you already have fragrances from other brands that are peppermint centric. This one just blends beautifully. I get really good performance out of this one. In fact, this is a fragrance that I will typically anchor out here in my open concept, and then I will burn the Candy Cane Lane. That one's a little bit lighter, still noticeable, but I don't see that one being like, because that one has a little bit more vanilla in it, that one performs a little bit better in the closed concept spaces of my home, whereas this one performs well no matter where it's at. Oh, I love this one so much. It is unfortunately sold out. I do hope that this is one that will eventually make the transition over to the Kringle 2X. I know it didn't this year, or at least last I checked, it didn't. But I hope that this one will, because I feel like this one was, the reason I got hooked on this one was I believe I had it in a Kringle format first. It was released as kind of like a limited edition, like bringing them back type of thing. And then they put it in the country candle format. So I'm hoping that they'll keep it around. I feel like this is a fragrance that's been around quite some time with Kringle, and hopefully they won't let go of it because it's done so beautifully. I haven't really smelled this fragrance in some of the other more like mainstream candle lines either. So really good job, Kringle, on this fragrance. Please bring it back in the Kringle 2X, because I really love this fragrance. I was glad to get my hands on another one. Now, I must have really been in a peppermint mood, because the other fragrance that I did go ahead and roll the dice on, again, $7.75 for these large jars. I figured if I don't like it, I can always gift it. Well, Dreaming of Christmas. So we've got this beautiful picture of candy canes here. This was a limited edition release. Last year they had like Kringle Express. They had quite a few like limited edition country candles for the holidays last year. Fragrance notes are peppermint, sweet chocolate, candy, and vanilla. Now this one, you guys, I am actually going to end up gifting this one. There's something about this one that I am not loving. It's very peppermint forward, but I can't put my finger on what the note is in here. That like, it's almost coming across, I guess in some ways, maybe like what this picture is depicting here, like the candy cane, like almost like the super, super sweetness that you get from a candy cane. This one is also a little bit like colder smelling, if that makes sense. Like it has definitely more of that like pungent peppermint. Whereas I feel like the Peppermint and Cocoa and the Candy Cane Lane are more like a smooth peppermint. This is a little bit more of a bitey peppermint to my nose. Doesn't really matter now. It's not really in the lineup anymore. It's gone. It's no longer on the website. I know a lot of people really like this one, but this one really isn't for me. So I do see myself passing this one along. I've got plenty of people in my life who would probably love this fragrance. So Dreaming of Christmas, this is the only candle in the entire haul, you guys, that I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and move along from. The rest of them, most of these actually, yeah, this was actually the only new candle that I tried. The rest, oh, well, no, the Candy Cane Lane was a new one. Candy Cane Lane and Dreaming of Christmas. These were the only two new ones. The rest of the candles that you're going to see are all repurchases for me. So Dreaming of Christmas, struck out on that one. But hey, out of 14 candles, I figure I can afford the loss of $7.75. That's less than the cost of shipping, truly. So all right, let's go ahead and go with some fragrances that are not Christmas time. I purchased a backup of coconut and blueberry tart. Now, I have had this candle. I think I initially had this candle in this format, I think in the large 2-wick. Then I had it last summer in the medium 2-wick. And here's what I can't remember if I was receiving DMs or whatnot, but some people were asking me, they were saying, hey, should I get some of the medium 2-wicks? because those were on sale for like $6 and something. And I actually told a lot of people, I said, if that same fragrance is available in the large 2 wicks, spend the dollar more to get the large jars, because I find that the large jars perform better for me than the medium jars. I feel like the medium jars just don't have the strength and throw. And so I said, again, if it's available in the large, get it in the large. So coconut and blueberry tart. We have fragrance notes of coconut, blueberry, plum, butter, orange, peach, cinnamon, jasmine, raspberry, almond, vanilla, caramel, and musk. So lots of fragrances being thrown at you right there, right? Okay, this has that like, it's funny because this one, I feel like a lot of people get different notes on this. My nose gets that blueberry. I get a hint of coconut in the background, but it's funny. It's interesting that they put raspberry in here because I smell a raspberry note for sure in this candle. It lends a tartness to it, which again, this is a tart, you know, like the dessert. But I like it. There's always been something about this one that I really, really enjoy in the summertime, particularly like early summer. I would say like around May, I always reach for this one. If you're new to my channel, I'm a pretty seasonal burner. There's certain fragrances that I associate with different times of the year. And this is a fragrance that I like in the early summer. It's fruity, but it's got a little bit something different going on with it. Get a little tiny bit of that crust note that you would find on the tart. But I really enjoyed this one. Again, I hope that this is a fragrance that will make the crossover. We know that Kringle has slowly been releasing on their website candles that were previously in the country candle format and then moving over into the Kringle lineup. I'm really curious to see what they have in store for us next year. We haven't been given any insight. The affiliates and ambassadors haven't. But I'm really curious to see what they've got up their sleeve for next year. But anyways, I decided to get another coconut and blueberry tart. While we are talking about blueberry, you guys, this is one of the fragrances that I'm going to be honest, I just checked on the website and I am shocked to see that this candle is still on the website. Now, I do think that it has to do with the naming of this candle, because I think that is maybe, I think the name of this candle is slightly false advertising. This is the fragrance Blueberry Milkshake. Fragrance notes are blueberries, vanilla, pie crust, fruit filling. All right, so I purchased, this fragrance was initially released in the summer of 2024 in a limited edition country candle summer lineup. And I, like a lot of people, passed this up because of the name, Blueberry Milkshake. I was really worried that there would be a lactonic note to this, and I thought, no. But again, look at those fragrance notes. Blueberries, vanilla, pie crust, fruit filling. What is this? It's a blueberry pie, you guys. This is a blueberry pie fragrance through and through. If you purchased their cherry pie scent in the summer flight, which has now become a permanent addition to the Kringle lineup, oh my gosh, if you want that like all-American, like summer picnic vibe going on in your house, get this candle, get the cherry pie. Now, this is still on the Kringle website, currently full price. I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It will save you 15%. But truthfully, you guys, I would not be surprised to see this maybe go on another deep discount. I don't have any insider info. I'm just going off of basic or like, not basic, like previous years' observations. Previously, in previous years, they usually do a really big after Christmas blowout sale as well. Probably similar along the lines of Black Friday. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this one go on another deep discount after Christmas. So maybe if you want to hold out, but also you run the risk of it might sell out before then. I don't know, but I was shocked, you guys, because this is truthfully one of my favorite fragrances from this country candle haul. This is such a good, oh, it's so good. So of course, for $7.75, I could not leave it just sitting there. Now, here's a fragrance that I was sent this candle in PR. This was part of the spring 2024 lineup. I was initially sent this candle in PR, and I wasn't so sure what I was going to think about it. But here's the thing, you guys. I actually, looking back, am like, Is this a candle that I would have repurchased at maybe 50% off? Maybe. I'm not sure. But again, $7.75. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get that one because it will complement some candles that are already in my collection. You guys know I'm really big on putting on, how do I put it? Using up my stash by having different fragrances burning at different points in my house that complement each other. I'm really big on looking for complementary fragrances. So what candle is this? Lemon tea and roses. First and foremost, the color of this wax is absolutely stunning. Fragrance notes on this are lemon, green tea, rose, grapefruit, bergamot, jasmine, violet, basil, mint, moss, amber, sandalwood, musk. Now, I do remember with this candle, I think in the initial pour, I did have some wick issues with it. They were kind of like dudding out on me midway through. Now, I am hoping that because this was an April pour, like this wasn't part of like the initial pours, that maybe I'll get a better burn on this. Again, I didn't spend a lot on it, so if not, that's fine. You guys, like truthfully, we just had Bath and Body Works Candle Day last week. I got this candle for less than one of those Bath and Body Works candles we're going for. Those were like what, $9.95? Got a lot more wax here. These are, how many ounces of wax are in this? I think it says, is that 24 or 26 ounces? I think it says 26 ounces of wax. So got almost double the amount of wax as a typical 3-wick. So yeah, couldn't pass up this deal. Anyways, let's talk about this fragrance. Again, no longer available. This is a very soft rose fragrance. You guys know florals are not typically my wheelhouse, although I will say in the past couple of years, I really have come to appreciate them in the springtime. I used to be like, absolutely not, and particularly rose. Rose, if it is too strong, like Yankee Candle's fresh cut roses, I have such a, I don't want to say an awful memory tied to that, but Yankee Candle's fresh cut roses, I remember somebody gave me that candle right after my husband and I got married. It was probably about 6 months after we got married. And at that time, I was in the very early stages of pregnancy with our first child, which unfortunately we lost her at the end of that pregnancy. But I remembered I didn't really have morning sickness, but the smell of those roses was like I could not handle it. And so I think now every time I smell like a really strong rose scent, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I have a kind of like a bad scent memory tied to that. Anyways, this does not do that for me. But I was thinking that this would be a really nice fragrance to accompany. I can pair this with a lot of vanillas. This is kind of just like a very calming, beautiful, fresh scent. This is the type of fragrance that I typically will lean towards even as early as January, I would say, because it's clean. It's very clean without it being like laundry day type of cleaning. It doesn't remind me of a cleaning product. It's just very calming, almost in a way like aromatherapy, but not a lavender type of scent. I just like this one. And I have that new Almost Midnight from the Reserve collection, which I haven't started burning yet. That has more of like a suede rose type of note going on to it. But I thought that they might complement each other. In fact, I got that one down and kind of sniffed them side by side. And I thought, yeah, I think that those are going to complement each other. Very different scents. But as I move from room to room, I don't think that they're going to clash. So yeah, I did decide to go ahead and purchase this one. Again, this is no longer available. And here's the candle that I'm going to be honest, you guys. Some of you guys might be really shocked to see that I ended up repurchasing this because if you've been following me since the beginning, when I initially got this candle, I purchased this candle. I think this came out in, was it 2023? I think it was 2023 because I purchased it. I have been receiving PR from KRINGLE pretty regularly, I would say, since like 2024. So like for like the last like year and a half, I've been receiving KRINGLE PR pretty regularly. So this was prior to that happening. So I know I remember purchasing this. And I remember getting this one in, and on cold snip, I was like, oh, I wasted my money. I do not like this at all. However, when I burned it, and I'm going to show you the candle that I burn it with, I totally changed my tune, which happens sometimes. Grapefruit and Rosemary. Now this one is actually still in stock. This one and the Blueberry Milkshake are the only two country candles that are still in stock from this haul. Fragrance notes on grapefruit and rosemary are juicy pink grapefruit, sparkling bergamot, lemon leaf, wild rosemary, white lavender, dewy garden greens, creamy white woods, and musk. So, okay, here's the thing about this. On cold sniff, that combo of like the grapefruit with the herbaceousness of a rosemary is a little like, it almost comes across slightly bitter to my nose. But I'm going to tell you guys, when this one is lit, it really transforms. It turns into this, like, again, very clean. I feel like the herbaceous note takes over a little bit more. And again, it's not too green. The grapefruit takes a back seat. It's not like pungent. Grapefruit is not typically a fragrance that I go for. If I'm going to go for a citrus scent, it's usually going to be lime. It's going to be orange or lemon. Like those are my like go-tos. Grapefruit, not typically what I go for. But this grapefruit, it's very present on cold sniff. But again, it takes a back seat when it's burning. I think grapefruit is one of the top notes, as is the bergamot. So the citrus is there, lemon leaf. But then that rosemary, dewy garden greens, there's just a greenness that kind of comes out when this is burning. It's hard for me to explain other than, again, if you're somebody who maybe, I live in a climate where we don't really experience true winter like most of the rest of the continental United States does. I live in Arizona. So our winter time, the coldest we're going to get is like daytime highs in the mid 50s, which I realize is spring and fall for a lot of people. We don't get true winter. So for me, a lot of my it's not uncommon for late January, even as I'm filming this week, which is kind of making me mad. Filming this week, you guys, we're having daytime highs of around 72, 75 degrees. So in January, sometimes when we have those 75-degree days, I love to break fragrances out like this, particularly if I'm like, a lot of us at the beginning of the year, we're decluttering, we're cleaning, we want that fresh start. And I feel like this is just such a great fragrance for that. So this is like the scent that I like to burn. I'm going to show you in combination with another one when I want people to walk into my home and to just feel like, oh, it's clean in here, but it doesn't smell like cleaning product. So I did decide to go ahead and purchase one more of those. The fragrance that I really like burning that grapefruit and rosemary with is one of my top 10 Kringle candle fragrances. This is a scent that this was actually in my very first Kringle candle order. And I want to say that order was, late 2021, early 2022, I think, somewhere around there. Maybe it was late 2020. Trying to remember. I've been purchasing from Kringle now probably for I think it's been at least 5 years. Anyways, this was one of the first candles that I threw in my very first order. This is the fragrance Rosemary Lemon. Now, clearly it was not in this 3-wick packaging because these came out, I want to say, in like 2023 maybe. Fragrance notes on Rosemary Lemon are lemon, herbs, jasmine, lime, orchid, peach, tea, wood, and lang. Here's the thing, you guys. Don't let all of those other fragrance notes fool you. This fragrance is very much fresh, vibrant lemon. This is not sugared lemon, like a sugary lemonade lemon. This is very fresh, what some people would call cleaner lemon with rosemary. This is, I just love this so much. I love this paired with that grapefruit and rosemary. Every time I burn this in my home, it just smells so clean, so lively. So like if you're having a day where you're like, I really need to be energized, this one will do it for you while you're cleaning. It'll give you some energy. I just love this one. This is also a great fragrance to burn if you have like lingering cooking odors in your house. This one will kind of be like a palate cleanser. I just love this scent. I do have it in the 4-wick format, which truthfully, you guys, if you have had this fragrance in the past, if you have a daylight of it and you like it, or you picked it up in the wax melts, just get it in the 4-wick, because I do find, I have found for years that the 2-wick, while that was the only format that I could get it in, the 2-wick was not giving me the strength and throw I wanted. I usually needed to purchase 2 of them to kind of give me the oomph. But the 4-wick the 4-wick definitely performs, gives you more strength and throw. So if you like this fragrance, if you've tried it in the past, get it in the 4-wick. Ooh, I just love this one. But these were on sale for like $10. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get this. I can pair it alongside the 4-wick. This also pairs really nicely with, they had a reserve scent that was lemon last year. I want to say it was like sparkling lemon or something like that. It was like a lemon, it's like a lemon with like water in the background. I was sent that one in PR, and I did end up going ahead and repurchasing it because I did find it to be a nice complementary fragrance. So let's go ahead and talk about a fragrance that nobody will be surprised to see that I purchased a backup of while it was still available. Yes, you guys, I bought 2 more of Say It With Me, Away in a Manger. Fragrance notes of Away in a Manger are juicy orange, mint leaf, lemon, clove bud, rose, cinnamon, nutmeg, musk, vanilla, cashmere woods. I feel like my face is going to become synonymous with Away in a Manger. Melanie's is going to be her vintage pomander, but me, I love her reject. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love this scent so much. It is juicy orange, but it's not as orange forward as vintage pomander, which it is. Vintage pomander is a beautiful fragrance. Don't get me wrong, but for my personal taste in the winter, I like a little bit more clove in it, and that's what this one gives me. It's not as much cinnamon. Um, oh, this is just so beautifully done. I think, how many do I have? I think this now gives me a total. I think at the moment I have 5 of these 3-wicks in my collection. I do have one, but this is one of my most versatile orange fragrances for the wintertime. I can burn this with, what is it, Frosted Dawn. I can burn this with, Frosted Dawn smells a lot like Bath & Body Works winter. I can burn this with Cozy Christmas. Just any fragrance that kind of has an orange scent going along in there, like in the background. This just amps it up. But I know I've gone on and on. You guys will hear Away in a Manger. You'll think of me because I love that scent. I realize that they can't have too many orange pomander fragrances, but man, I'm going to miss that one once it's gone. And I hope they find a way to maybe like somehow bring it back, because I feel like there's room for it, right? There's room for it still in the family. Like let's bring it back. I love that scent so very much. Okay, another fragrance that is a repurchase for me, and this one might surprise some people, but this is the fragrance Christmas Treats. Now this is from this is like what I'm calling their like economical collection, their economical 3-wicks. Christmas Treats has fragrance notes of fried pastry, cinnamon, and brown sugar. So these typically sell 3 for $33 on the Kringle website, but again, during that Black Friday sale, I think they had these on sale for around $9. Now, I have already burned through one of these. In fact, you probably saw that in my empties video earlier this week. Here's the thing with this fragrance, you guys. This to me, I did a dedicated review on it. This to me smells like the filling of a cinnamon roll, but it's not listed on here. I get an apple note in this candle. I like this a lot. I didn't think that I would repurchase it. However, I recently got a candle in from Caramel Sundays called Holiday Sweets, and that to me smells very much like the savory elements of a warm cinnamon bun. I'm filming things a little bit out of order, but I think if things are going up as I had planned, that review should already be up on my channel, the Holiday Sweets from Caramel Sundays. And I mentioned in that video that I like pairing Christmas treats with that because this gives me that like sugary sweetness and spice that I feel like complements the savory aspects of that Holiday Sweets. Now, Holiday Sweets will be restocking at Caramel Sundays this month. I know that this is not a Caramel Sundays video, but just if you're like me, I think a lot of us tend to buy from multiple brands. If you happen to have a cinnamon bun fragrance in your collection that is more heavy on the savory bready aspect of a cinnamon bun and you're wanting something to complement it, Christmas Treats does a really good job of that. Now, it's not a frosting note, and you have to be okay with there something being like an apple note in here. Yeah, it's hard for me to describe. My nose is smelling apple, and I think that the apple is the cinnamon and brown sugar, like playing tricks on my nose. But I really like this one, and This has given me really good strength and throw. Now, I will warn you, like most of these 3 wicks, I did get puny wicks after the halfway mark on this. However, it didn't really alter the performance on the candle. It was still strong, but just know that the burn slows down quite a bit at the halfway point. So, but yeah, it still did a good job for me. And I will say, I guess the good thing about those burns slowing down on these 3 wicks when they get to that after that halfway point is that the wick clips no longer detach, which I know that that was some feedback that we had all been giving Kringle on those 3 wicks, was saying like, hey, your wicks are detaching and moving around. Okay, another fragrance that I purchased in the 2 wick. I was really surprised, you guys, that Kringle did not put this in a 4 wick format. I'll be curious to see if it makes the cut to be put into a 4 wick. However, part of me also thinks maybe they're not putting it in a 4 wick because the 2 wick performs so well, and it is the fragrance Pumpkin Waffles. So this is a fall scent. Fragrance notes of pumpkin spice, toasted waffles, brown sugar, cinnamon, maple syrup, creamy butter, warm woods accord, and amber vanilla accord. Now, I did want to let you guys know this candle was 50% off during the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale, which made me a little bit nervous because it was weird. Some fall scents were 50% off, some were not, some were like 30. There were different price points. And so seeing that it was 50% off made me a little bit nervous. I reached out to my affiliate contact and I asked, I said, is this one on the chopping block? And he said, no, for now it's safe. He's like, we're just trying to clear out some of our fall inventory. And I was like, oh, good. He said that about the next candle that I'm going to show you guys because I was in a full on panic that that one was being discontinued. We'll talk about that in a minute. But pumpkin waffles. If you are a fan of Bath and Body Works pumpkin pecan waffles, this is in that family. I feel like this is done a little bit better. It's not as cloying. I feel like you get a little bit more of the pecan, like the nutty note in this fragrance. You do get some of the sweetness of like a maple, but again, it's not overly mapley. The brown sugar. This one is just such a good gourmand scent. And this one performs very, very well for me in the open concept. This one is about a 9, and the fragrance lingers quite a while. It also pairs so nicely with a lot of other pumpkin fragrances in the fall. So I definitely thought, well, this is a scent that is like a fall staple for me. Might as well get it while it was 50% off. On the website right now, I think the only way that you can get this is in daylights or wax melts if you wanted to try it out. But I was glad to get my hands on at least one more of these. But again, I'm really happy to say that as of now, this is still safe. It is not on the chopping block. They were just trying to clear out some of their fall inventory. And last but not least, I'm going to move my water bottle down there. Here is the final candle that was 50% off. 50% off. This is a 4-wick. I panicked and bought 2 in the 4 wicks because I thought if this fragrance is going away, one, I'm going to lead a riot in the streets and I will fly back to Massachusetts and go storm down the doors of Kringle. Not really, but maybe. But however, again, my contact said, nope, we were just trying to clear out some fall inventory. You guys, my beloved Autumn Amber was $22.50. These 4-wick candles normally retail for $45. So you better believe I bought 2. I wasn't sure if it was coming back. And now I'm still not mad that I have 2 of them because this, you guys, like that pumpkin waffles, I would say this one is probably even more so of a fall staple for me. This is a fragrance that I love to burn starting in late August, early September. Fragrance notes on Autumn Amber are apple blossom, floral, cedarwood, and pine. And I have made this comparison several times. If you are somebody who loves Bath and Body Works Autumn, but maybe you are transitioning over to wanting a cleaner burn, if you're wanting a soy wax, this is the fragrance you're going to want because this is very, very similar to Autumn. Do I think it's a little bit better? Yes, I do. But again, if you like Autumn, you will like Autumn Amber because they're siblings for sure. Oh, this one, you get a little bit of that apple in the background, but you get some of that like fresh outdoorsiness. It's not too fresh though. I think a lot of you guys are familiar with what Autumn at Bath and Body Works smells like. And Bath and Body Works is very hit or miss when they bring that fragrance back. They did bring it back this year, but I think the year before they didn't bring it back. So who knows what they'll decide to do next year. But again, this fragrance at the moment is only available in the daylights or wax melts. I always feel like, especially if you are new to Kringle, and it's what I did, truthfully, you guys, when I was new to the brand, the way that I familiarized myself with a lot of these fragrances was ordering the daylights. I am actually, it's funny, I'm realizing this now here on YouTube. I think, I don't want to say I'm the only creator, because I know that there's a ton of home fragrance reviewers on YouTube, on Instagram, but from the ones that I follow, I feel like I'm trying to think of other ones that don't. I actually don't do wax melts. I only burn candles. I know that there's a lot of crossover. My home just isn't big enough, I feel like, for me to to do both. Neither is my wallet. I don't need one more thing to get addicted to. Um, but anyways, for me personally, the way that I became acquainted with a lot of these fragrances that I was interested in was by purchasing the daylights. So I would say that something that you might want to keep your eye out on, you guys, if during like an after Christmas sale, if they have a good after Christmas sale, maybe if they're offering those daylights on fragrances that you're there's some fragrances that I think that we'll be like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to like that one. Or maybe they're so heavily discounted, like $7, that you're like, all right, I'll go ahead and spend $7. And if I don't like it, too bad. But there might be some fragrances that you're like, I'm intrigued by that, but I don't want to commit to a full-size jar. I do love that Kringle offers daylights or wax melts for us to be able to familiarize ourselves with some of their scents, because unless you are located near one of their wholesale like vendors, which I actually have never looked up on in my area to see if there are, or unless you are in the New England area and within a short driving distance of the Kringle store. Which, if you've never been to the Kringle store, if you're in that area, you guys know a couple of months ago when I was in New England, I actually took a day out and did a little road trip from Boston. It took us about 2 hours from Boston to get there. But the Kringle store is located in like the most beautiful little quaint New England town. It's pretty close to the border of New Hampshire and Vermont. So, I think it's like maybe like 15 minutes from New Hampshire, 5 miles from Vermont, something like that. Like it's not very far at all. So if you're ever wanting to, make the drive, if you're in that area, do a little road trip. Maybe not in the winter time. I don't know. Winter there, I hear, is pretty rough, but take a gander on over to the store, because it's a beautiful setup, and I would love to go back there maybe next fall. That's what I'm hoping to do, but we shall see. Anyways, you guys, I am starting to ramble. Let me know in the comment section down below if you purchased any of these, or what did you get during the Black Friday sale. Did you get your hands on any tremendous steals? Again, I will have part 2 of this video coming up for you guys, like I said, possibly by next weekend, or probably next weekend. That is at least what I have on my calendar. And that video will not be as long because it's not as big of a haul. But I was really excited to share this with you guys, and now I get to put it all away and start really enjoying a lot of these candles. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Again, please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.